What is up, internet land? How is my brother Phil doing today?
What up? Do not disturb is on.
Do not disturb is on.
I shall not disturb.
You're not getting phone calls.
No guarantees. You know how it goes.
No. Hey, listen, man. I like that you're sitting at the office. You could just make some money, make those millions while we're sitting here.
Make that money. I'm all about that. I like that plan.
That's Prepper 101, right? You got to make some money.
Well, I will. Here's my Prepper 101 current events. I took every spare penny I had unaccounted for, which was not a lot, and stuck it into silver this week.
Did you? I'm planning on doing that myself. I love how your green screen reacts to your
It's just going to be my thing.
Perrier
now.
can.
So,
I think that's
so I can subtly reveal with my secret Perrier French key. You see, it's French, so when it appears on camera, it's hidden and hiding.
Right.
Out of the action.
There you go. Do I sound good to you, man, as we get going here? Does everything seem to be working good?
I got some glitching, but
you got some glitching?
Know how it looks on the other end.
It looks super smooth to me. I don't have
any of our live streams pulled up.
Let's go ahead and get those out there. Guys, hey, listen, if you're watching right now, we'd love it if you'd share.
How about some shares and likes?
That'd be wicked cool if you could do that. We would just love it. So I'm going to make sure that we're rolling on all cylinders. Should have done that during the countdown timer. That would have been like professional and smooth and stuff.
Man, we'll get there.
I bet you we will. You know, I hope we grow this. Hope we grow this channel to the point where maybe we have a producer one day and they're like watching our backs and making things happen.
Hey,
you
are looking for a producer position and you like doing things without pay, like us as pastors.
You like doing things without pay. Yeah. I love that. So something is happening where I just got check this out. It just says Facebook user. It's glitching.
Oh, it's Jennifer. Hey, Jennifer.
Oh.
I need your mailing address, patron Jennifer.
Oh yeah, Jennifer. Can you please private message Mr. Phil your address so he can send you some thank you stuff?
So I can send you some swag. It's not really swag because not everybody gets it.
Okay. All right. So let's jump into some stuff here. We got some current events.
Yeah, I'm watching some Facebook glitching. So.
Are you?
Current events. Listen, the only current event happening in the entire world today, right now, is Alec Baldwin.
Okay, listen, I don't have a clue what's going on with Alec Baldwin. I have been legitimately prepping the last couple of days. I've been butchering. We butchered like 45 chickens the last couple of days, and even just minutes ago, I was elbow deep in chicken goo as we were like parting them up and vacuum sealing them, putting them in the freezer. So I have no clue. I want you to reveal this story to me right now. The world can watch me react.
I'm legitimately proud of you because usually that is my role to not know the current event going on. Basically, let me put it to you with all the shock value that I can. Currently, my AR-15 has killed the same amount of people as Alec Baldwin has with a gun.
Okay.
But there's a strong possibility in a couple hours that he's going to take the lead.
What? Is he like holed up somewhere? Like, did he have a break?
No. Total accident. He didn't intend to do it. But let's be honest, as responsible firearm enthusiasts and strong gun owning and carrying Americans, we understand some basic rules around firearms that people who hate firearms and hate America don't always understand.
Correct.
And these rules are written in blood in that they're there for a reason. And when you don't follow them, people can die.
Yes, that is absolutely true.
So we are talking about homicide, negligent discharge, and one person dead and a second fighting for their life.
Oh, no, that's terrible news.
On set.
Really? Because somebody just didn't clear chambers, because somebody didn't
Well,
put the
the
right ammo
details are
in.
still coming out. The latest that I have in internet gossip, so take it for what it is. The Union had just left a couple of hours prior due to safety concerns and repeated safety failures, and this was not the
Oh,
first negligent safety situation with firearm on set.
oh no.
That aside, it has been confirmed that a projectile was fired. One person is dead, and the
Oof.
second person is severely injured.
Oof.
And Alec Baldwin pulled the trigger.
Really?
So this is really sad.
Oh,
One
this
person
is
has died.
it's
Dozens
terrible.
of people's lives are horribly changed forever. Alec Baldwin, no matter how much we dislike the guy, no matter how despicable the human being he is,
Right.
um, I don't think anyone believes he did this on purpose. I don't
Right.
believe that for a single second.
No, no, no,
With
no.
that said, when you take the responsibility of picking up a firearm, you take on the responsibility of what happens with that firearm while it is in your control and your care.
Sure.
And regardless of any other failures, the buck stops with the person pulling the trigger.
100%.
And there may be other people who are contributory factors and responsibility, but in the end, it still does come down to him. And there are strong rumors
Right.
that there was a culture of safety being ignored and rules being not followed, and so much so that other people walked off the job, and people who were a part of the union were told, if you're a part of this union, you have to leave, or we're removing you from the union.
Wow.
And that's pretty egregious when it gets to that point. And so there were warning signs, and all that's going to play into how severe of a homicide charge, right, is this going to end up being?
Right.
Which type of manslaughter will this end up being?
Yeah.
Manslaughter has been committed.
Oh
Now, what
gosh.
level of manslaughter is now to come into play?
Well, then you got to then the real, is, how effectively is he going to be able to pawn it off on the, the poor prop guy or something silly, who knows,
That's already beginning.
that, I mean, that, let's just face it, these Hollywood elites, they've always got a fall guy. They've always got somebody they get to blame things on.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. There are accounts of him immediately being on the phone with his lawyer. But
Yeah.
you know what? I can't say that I wouldn't do the same thing there.
Sure. No, I get that.
Your life is forever changed. You just killed one, maybe two people.
Absolutely.
One of the calls is going to be to a lawyer. Once EMTs are on the way and things like that. Yeah, you do need, anybody responsible needs to talk to a lawyer at that point.
Right.
So we can't fault him for that.
No, we can't. We can't. Oh gosh.
There's
I honestly,
already plenty of fault to go around.
my guts hurt over that. Like that's, I mean, like
Well, it's awful.
I mean,
It's awful.
as Christians, right? I mean, like we know that we're not supposed to rejoice when our enemy does something stupid. And, as much as Alec Baldwin hates people like us
America,
and
people, Christians,
has
hunters.
actively, like sought to silence people of a conservative nature and things like that. Like I don't wish what he's going through on him. Like that's horrible. And my prayers are definitely going. I literally had no clue that what I said at the beginning when you first started talking, I was not being like silly trying to.
No, we wanted a true reaction.
Yeah, I really had no clue. I didn't know anything. So, wow, gosh, that's terrible stuff. All right, well, our prayers go up for the injured and the folks that have been wounded in all of this. This is terrible
awful.
stuff.
Yeah, it's awful stuff.
So I got a little bit of got a little personal news. I'm pretty excited about. I got to play. Well, I'll save that one for just a second. So it sounds like, and you got a little bit. You had some things to say too. We just barely touched base before the show. It sounds like Southwest and Delta Airlines have kind of thumbed their nose at the current administrator in chief or rambler in chief. Or listen, Brandon has had he's having a rough week because there's some folks there's some folks. I'm gonna save those jokes for our guest in a little while. I think he's got something planned for us as far as Brandon goes. But anyway, it sounds like those two major organizations are going to be thumbing their nose at the administration, and saying we are not going to be firing pilots and flight attendants and air traffic controllers for not getting the ouchie Fauci.
I believe that's the current status. I think there's some other particulars that are not, it's not a total win from what I understand, but it is a 80% in the right direction from what I understand. Along the exact same lines, my sister company to the company that enables this to happen on my end had some go-rounds as a federal contractor this week also. How many people realize that the current executive order applies to federal contractors, and that may not seem like a big deal, but it's the whole reason why this came into play with the airlines, because they carry mail, because they, government employees get a government rate, right? I mean, they are a federal contractor,
right?
A lot more businesses are federal contractors than most people realize, and my business is one of them. About 20% of our business, usually, gross revenue, comes from federal contracts of various kinds. And us being Americans who believe in upholding the Constitution, we refuse to force our employees to share their medical status with us. And that immediately makes it impossible for us to comply with this executive order. And that means any current federal contracts we have, we cannot be paid for until we prove that we are in compliance with the executive order. And we cannot sign new contracts without proving that we are in compliance with the executive order. Now, my company is in one of those unique positions where we are one of, and often are, the only option for that contract, the only ones qualified and able to do it. And so it was an interesting conversation as they were realizing what they had done and getting exceptions at the DC level this week, which they did, and I still haven't decided if I'm going to accept it. So there are consequences to actions like that, and I'm going to do my part as an American and let the feds know that they can't push us around like this.
Yeah, that's exactly right. No, I think that's very wise. I mean, there was a pretty intense moment where we had this last week where a family member of mine, I won't say which one, but a family member of mine had been in open protest with the state-run organization that she worked for, and basically just refusing to disclose her status, and so they're and then they told her, they were like, okay, well, we're posting your job. So, so that was which we knew was going to happen. Right. And then we kind of talked together as a family, and this person had decided that, on the day they were going to walk her out of the building, she would then disclose her scenario, whether it would be, an exemption or not. And it was in that. So she waited till right up to the hour, and thankfully still has her job, but yeah, pretty scary stuff. And then in the same vein, did you hear about
or they accepted the exemption?
No, I mean, so ultimately that this person was vaccinated, and but was standing in solidarity with the employees that were being coerced and forced into putting something into their bodies that they didn't want to do. And so the plan was that, on the day that they came to relieve her of her job, that she would, throw that card on the table and say, get out of my office, kind of thing. And so, it did kind of go down that way. But speaking of status in that regard, did you hear about the 40,000? Does that ring a bell for you? This was pretty special. This was a good time. This will probably be our last current event before we're going to be bringing on a guest here in just a minute. Special guest. So excited. Mr. Boyd Craven is going to be with us today, talking book stuff, going through the book study. Very excited. So, but 40,000 state employees of the state of Oregon, their vaccine status was leaked or accidentally disclosed to the Oregonian, which is the biggest paper in Oregon, Oregonian/Oregon Live. Those are the same company. And then the Statesman Journal out of Salem, Oregon. So essentially three very leftist, horrible news outlets received the personal information of 40,000 state employees. I am not impressed. In fact, most of the people that I know that filed religious exemptions or religious exceptions, what we're calling them now, basically said, look, my biggest concern is that this information is going to be getting out to could get leaked, and they said no, your privacy is our utmost priority. Well, we now know that 19% of the Oregon State Police, 17, including
the Portland CERT team, right?
Well, but that's a whole nother bailiwick. You want to talk about people being doxxed? The Portland riot team has now been revealed. Their identities have been revealed in a Freedom of Information Act lawsuit this week. But that's a whole nother bailiwick. But friends that I know and love, their names have been posted, and now is free for the world to see. That they opted to take religious exemptions. I don't know what the consequences of that's going to be, but we have built a culture of discrimination. I'll just say it that way.
Yeah, well, this left side of the country and the move of socialism, there's no discrimination that they don't like.
Boy, that's for sure.
Gender, age, religion, all the protected and unprotected, they're all about the discrimination. And on that note, I say roll tape. Let's get this guest in here.
Yeah, let's. So Boyd, go ahead and hit that link for us, brother. If you're watching, we're gonna roll our beautiful bean footage here. All right. I'm sure we'll have Boyd in here in just a second. Oh, he's calling in right now. This is going to be awesome. Very exciting. All right. Let's see here. We're going to add him to the right here. Boyd, are you with us?
Here's the man.
Can you hear me?
I can't. We can. Man, you sound all silky and smooth. You must have like a super awesome microphone there.
No, I got a pretty cheap one.
Well, it sounds good, man. Hey, thank you.
That makes me feel bad.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it makes us feel bad. We've spent too much money on this stuff. Man, thank you for your time. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us tonight.
I appreciate the invite. And it's been kind of interesting because you guys hit on a lot of the topics I was trying to bring about in my books.
Well, good.
What if it was 30% worse?
Yeah,
you literally nailed